What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We have some exciting news. The Mustang is almost done. Should be done this week. Those of you guys that are new to the channel, welcome all. If you have no idea what I'm talking about with the Mustang because you're looking at a bike video, we have a 2019 Mustang that is our drag car. And we went up to a subscribers meet in New Jersey on the way back. We hit something large, heavy in the middle of the road. Couldn't avoid it, and it caused about $8,000 worth of damage. So I'm excited to get the car back. I know you guys are excited. Those of you that follow this channel to watch all of the great car content. But for today's video, we are not doing anything Mustang related. We're actually going to do our first real modification besides the ceramic coat. We did do the ceramic coat, but a first real modification to this CBR1000. And that is, of course, we're going to replace this hot garbage right here. This fugly mess. This dirt bike crap. This space shuttle, spaceship looking thing on the back of this beautiful otherwise motorcycle. Here is what we are going to work with. We have the YOSHIMURA Fender Eliminator kit. And got it from Revzilla there. Decent price. They sent a bunch of stickers, so, you know, we like stickers, whatever. But see what's what. Oh, look. More stickers. Basic hand tools. Oh, I'm dropping things. Allen keys. All right, let's dig into it and see what's what. So far, this is quality. That's metal. I thought that might be like plastic, but all right, sweet. All right, here we go. All right, solid metal here. Main bracket, side pieces here, and that's really because we are going to maintain, we're going to keep our OEM turn signals there. They look fine. You do have an illumination device for the back of it for the license plate, just to keep things legal. I know a lot of guys, you know, may or may not run those, but it looks like we're going to have to do a little bit of wiring. Some zip ties, and then this. I'm not so crazy about like the YOSHIMURA logo on here, but I mean, this is like a standard. I imagine you could just replace this, but with this kit, the way it actually works together is that the license plate will eventually screw in like that. This screws in like that, and it becomes like this one whole solid unit because that works into it somehow too. So this is going to be really simple. There's lots of video. Well, there's really only a few videos for this kit installation on a newer CBR. And now we're going to dig through it. Very, very simple. Some of the guys, some of the other videos I've watched, they made it seem like it was overly complicated. I don't think that it's going to be overly complicated. I don't think it's going to be hard. And you guys know how we do on this channel. We do everything ourselves, and I make things look a little bit easy. And that's really because it is. It's just nuts and bolts. But remember, as soon as that car gets back here, we already have mods. We have basically a semi-drag suspension here sitting in this box just waiting to be installed. All right, so first up is a 5mm Allen key. Ooh, those are really in there. Come on. These are kind of long bolts, and they have a washer on the back, so make sure you don't drop them. And the washer. There we go. I still owe you guys like a first impressions video of the bike, and it is coming, but this is like one of the most uncomfortable sports seats I've ever sat on. Let me just take our key. There we go. Next up is you have a Phillips head right there. And also on that side, if you can see it. It's kind of like a push pin. All right, next up is you have some more Allens. You got 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they are 3mm. I think a 3mm. Yep, it fits. All right, the next thing you want to do is slide all of this off, just this top little section here. So let's get that under there. But what you're going to do is kind of like lift up and then back on the fairings, and hopefully it don't break nothing. See, it pops free just like that. Let's do this side. This stuff is like really thin plastic. It is kind of frightening to do this. Come on. There we go. All right, and then you're gonna lift up and back from inside here somehow, like that. So this is kind of what this looks like. So you have these tabs. You can see how they're like angled towards the back there. And that's why you get to go back, because you got to lift up and then back at the same time, and it just pops off. Now you have a Phillips head there and then there. What is this device? What is this thing? Okay, now we have some more of those tabs. You can see like that one there. So we're gonna basically push, got a tab there alongside there. So same kind of deal, just gently get it out of there and push it out like this, like that. And then underneath it should just clip out. So there's little tabs in here. I'm sorry, lift up. You want to lift like a fingernail. And it should come free. And this is the other one. It's just right here, it's easy. Home free. Next up is you have 4 of these guys. You got these 10mm bolts in here, there and there. And then the way you can get to them is you can kind of, well, you got to bend the plastic down just a little bit. So there's 1 and then 2. So put a wrench on one side and then a socket on the other, get them free. And then we can drop this hot mess out of there. Make sure you feed the wires through. All right, so we got a mess here, and these instructions, I wish, I wish they were pictured a little bit better, because when it comes to like the wiring stuff, we have to strip wires. We got these butt connectors there. Got to use a heat gun or something like that to basically like shrink wrap these things, make sure that they're weatherproof. Before we get to any of that, I want to kind of just show you what's going on here. So this is your main bracket. I'm going to bolt this up before we actually strip apart that thing over there and then run our wires. But you have your center hole. So we're gonna run our wires through that center hole. Once you get it up there, you'll connect it with these 2 little guys there. And since I have played this game before and I'm intelligent, use a little bit of blue Loctite just on the tips of the bolts so that it doesn't come off. You don't lose anything whenever you're riding around, vibrating and all that other jazz. All right, so it'll look something like this. Now, the way this thing kits together is you're going to have the bolts that run like this on both sides, all right? You see how there's nothing at the bottom? Well, that's because you have 4 bolts on your license plate. So you're gonna have to use 4 bolts and it will be like one whole secure thing. The reviews on this kit are outstanding. And so far I can say that everything looks really quality. I was hoping to have like a plug and play kind of like wiring thing here, but you know, it is what it is and we'll get through it. So once again, we're gonna mount this guy before we actually dig into the turn signal lights there, but this is just basically gonna slide back in like it came out. All right, so once you have this thing pretty much in there, just like it was when it came out, you are gonna have this hole in the bottom there. You see that? Okay, and that's gonna feed all the wires up through the plastics up here like we pulled them out. But this is where we start taking this guy apart and doing our wiring stuff there. All right, to get this stuff out, I kept seeing turn signals. I'm talking about reverse light right here. This is what we're basically gonna be wiring. So we're gonna have to like cut this connector. Again, I wish that, you know, they had some kind of a plug and play design, but these are just gonna go back in the bike like normal, your factory turn signals. All right, so you have Phillips head screws all over the place. Start taking them loose. All right, to get your factory turn signals out, if you're gonna use these, because this kit allows you to do that, 8mm socket and wrench there, right? And then right in the sides. Just crack them loose. Come on. There we go. That's gonna leave you this little lock right here, right? So you wanna get that off. Oh, I've got no fingernails. So that's just gonna pull out and it'll come off. The rest of it, it's just rubber and it pops out. All right, we're throwing this guy together. So bolts go through here, pretty self-explanatory, but this guy right here, look how this is, okay? And then when you put this on, you want it to look like this, as opposed to the flat edge being on the outside. You don't want it to look like that. They have it recessed so that whenever you put your turn signals on, that this rubber crap is kind of like, you know, hidden a little bit. All right, now if you have done this right, this is what it's gonna look like. A bit confusing, but we haven't gotten to that yet. But make sure you don't mix up your wires. So left turn signal, just keep track of it. But remember those little pieces that we had to pull out? So they go back in the same way. And what you do is you just feed the rubber right there through there very graciously, because it's a tight hole. So, you know, maybe a little bit of motivation will help. But then you slide that other piece on. You slide, this makes sense. So that cutout goes on the wire, don't fall, and then it goes in the hole. Okay, Goes in like that, goes in that hole. The smaller one goes in the other hole, and then it'll look like this. These are 8mm, by the way. And then those will just plug up like normal once we feed them up through. We're gonna do the other side, get to the wiring. Before you actually put your turn signals on, make sure that you have all this stuff back here, because you may not be able to get to it with a socket, but you'll just have to use something, you know, like this, so whatever. When you're done, this is pretty much what it should look like. Heat shrink on there, and then smash the wires together. You could solder that before you do this, which is probably a better idea, which I don't have oddly enough, but this should be plenty fine. And all of this wiring here, you could, you know, wrap it with electrical tape, which we're probably gonna do before we put it back in the bike, but just to keep it a little bit more weather sealed. But this is gonna be it's gonna be inside of the bike anyway, so it should be fine. But the important thing here is black goes with green, because Honda apparently is always green for ground. Now power is red to brown, as you can see here. So don't get that flip-flopped. All right, now what you do is tuck all your wires, zip tie them up, and they go nicely right underneath there. And that way they're all free of anything that's gonna catch on to it. Throw your bolts back. And this is how it's starting to come together. And then under there, it's pretty clean. Just like that. Now is also a good time to check all of your stuff. Make sure that your turn signals work like they're supposed to, hazards work like they're supposed to, reverse light works like it's supposed to before you put the bike back together. Because if you screw it up, you're taking it all apart again. All right, guys, here it is. Just like that, we're done. It looks like it could have been, and probably should have been, a factory option. But this is how this looks. That looks awesome. I like it because it does not hang down too low. So this is right up in there like that. So OEM turn signals, they look fine. I love it. This kit from YOSHIMURA, I got it from Revzilla. I think it was about 128 bucks, 130 bucks, something like that, free shipping, because I hate shipping. There's the underside of it. If you're new to my channel, I like to keep things a little bit detailed, because sometimes pictures, you know, people just don't do it well enough. That looks so much better. It doesn't look like a dirt bike anymore. Nothing wrong with dirt bikes, but this is not one. All right, guys, that wraps up this first. Let me turn the bike off. First real modification done to the CBR. More to come. Probably need to make it a little bit louder here eventually. But there it is. We're done. If you enjoyed the video, you found it informative, give it a thumbs up or thumbs down. I don't care. But hopefully you got some enjoyment out of it and you learned something. But that brings this video to a close. If you're riding or if you're racing or any of that, have fun, be safe. I'll see you guys in the next episode.